Welcome to Smiling Eyes Press. This is the portion where we talk about our first-time authors, those authors who had a dream about a book and now are this close to having their first book. This book by Lorraine Hennigan is called Dancing with Belle. This is a story about Lorraine's mom who, at the moment, at this time of her life, is suffering the effects of Alzheimer's. And we have with us today our first-time author, Lorraine Hennigan. Lorraine, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Richard. Nice to be here.
It's a pleasure.
I'm a little nervous, but it's nice to be here.
Go for it. Don't worry about it. Everybody wants to hear about your book. So tell us about Dancing with Belle. Just a little bit about the book, how it came about, and where we are at the moment.
Okay, Dancing with Belle, the story of my mom, Isabella/Belle. Everybody called her Belle. Through most of my life and my family's life, there were 6 kids. I'm the youngest of 6. And she used to tell us all the time, every time something went wrong, you should write a book about me. So now that she's suffering through the Alzheimer's and her stories aren't there anymore, I thought it would be good to capture them in a book of memoirs. And it's a beautiful book. Her story is beautiful. It's sad, but it's also, if you can find beautiful in sadness, this is the book to read, because she's a fighter, she's a warrior, she's a mom first, and her stories needed to be told because there's so many people out there who are born into poverty. She wasn't, and it's another way of life. It's a way that she had to live her life, mostly single because of her husband passing away young. And it's a book that keeps you turning the pages because you always want to know when she's going to have something good happen. And you always want to know if she's going to, like she describes some things as monsters, when she's going to beat the monster and when she's going to come out of it and when it's going to be her turn to be happy. So it's a story of, for me, it's triumph. And in the end, when she finally was happy, she has her fight again. She has to fight the Alzheimer's, which she can't, but it needs to be told. It needs to be told. And the suffering of Alzheimer's needs to be told also. The lack of interest in our seniors who have it and our centers that are empty. There's no visitors. And that needs to change. They need to have some stimulus. It's not only money that they need the human touch. And I write about that in the book because my mom was on a ward that is far advanced Alzheimer's ward for a little bit, waiting for her place. And I talk about it in the book because I used to call them the lost ones. It was like their mind is spinning in a loop, but they still have touch. They need to be touched. They need to be held. They need to be hugged. They need to dance, which is also the title of the book, Dancing with Belle. Because when I was doing the research into the book, I never knew this, but when I spoke with my uncle, her brother, he told us that she danced every morning with her mom. There was always time to dance. And through our lives, my mom danced, of course, but now she dances even more. Like if we're walking, she's deaf. She just stops and she hums and she moves her feet, and sometimes we'll grab her and we'll dance with her, but she's always dancing. It just brings her so much joy. And I think it's from her mom. I really believe that her mom is with her at all times. So it's very touching. So I hope the readers enjoy the book. I know you might need a little Kleenex and you might need some giggling powder or whatever, because it's going to make you giggle too. She has a little character and it's a lot of fun sometimes too.
So talk to me about the research of this book. This book, you mentioned research, and you're the youngest of 6 children.
Yeah.
You're the one writing this book. So how emotional has it been for you? What experience did you go through? And you learned a lot. So just explain to our listeners and potential authors, writing a memoir about family can be really emotional. So let's talk about that just a little bit.
Yes, it's very emotional. It's emotional because first, I have to speak to family members, and some of them actually didn't want to tell me the stories because they said they were too sad to repeat as they watched my mom go through what she did. So I had to ask them to just put that emotion aside, or cry if you want to, but please just give me the information that I'm lacking. My oldest sister, the firstborn, Susan, she died, and she knew everything. She had all the right dates, times, stories. She was such an important part of my mom's life, being the oldest, the firstborn. She helped. She was like our mini mom, which we call her in the book. It was emotional to write. Once I got the information that I did from everyone, it was really emotional because I had to be my mom. And I was never that woman. I didn't grow up like her. I didn't have 6 kids, single mom. And it was hard to be that woman because I had to take all her emotions and write them in the book. And it was very hard. Like I could feel everything she was going through, and I had to get it right. So it was really emotional. It's still emotional. I haven't finished, and I'm still crying when I have to fix something because I see her all the time. She's in my mind, and that poor woman, like many other women, I'm sure, it's really hard to step in her shoes and write about her. It's really an emotional roller coaster, really. Yeah, I'm getting emotional right now talking about her.
Well, even though you lived it as baby Lorraine in the book,
Yeah,
it's still, you were a child.
I was a child.
Couldn't
Yeah,
remember anything but putting the pieces together. But you had an opportunity to speak with your mom, I think, often about it. So
yeah,
putting the pieces together for us has been a wonderful human jigsaw puzzle
yeah,
type of working. And the validity of the stories is genuine now because, as
yeah.
we know, we want to ensure that we're reasonably close to it. But
Mhm.
family members was important in this memoir
Yeah.
to be involved. Now we're coming near the end of this book. How are you feeling about that?
I would say that it transformed more as it progresses. There's more of there's more of a need.
Mhm.
As I said, the first time that I met your team, you and Dunya, I need her to hold it. I need her to hold it in her hands. Like even now, she doesn't know. She knows my essence, like I wrote in the book. She'll never forget her daughter, but she doesn't know who I am exactly sometimes. But when I showed her that picture of the cover of the book, she just stopped and she went, wow. And then she says, that's me. And I said, yes, mommy, that's you. And she went, wow. And she had the biggest smile. So she recognizes, I know they remember from way in the past,
Mhm.
but with that picture, it was like her face transformed. I loved it. Like it was like, yes, mommy. And then I write on her whiteboard because she can't hear what I'm doing. And she goes, really? She doesn't remember 5 minutes later. But I just need her to have that 5 minutes, and that's so I think that the story came together um, more accurately as her Alzheimer's passes, because there's a need, right? There's a need to get it out there. So I wrote with a passion to get the book finished.
And
That's what I.
and we were almost moving towards that, presently, where we're coming near the end of the proofreading and editing part. For our listeners out there and our viewers, we are looking early 2021, early February is our date. Make sure we have everything where we need to be. And it's been a process for you, Lorraine. So talk to us a little bit about the process of getting a book out there. Did you think one way before, and are you thinking differently about that
Totally,
process at the moment?
totally. I thought you write a book, and actually my intention was write a book, find somebody that can, hey, I'm back in typewriter times, somebody can get it together, print it, and I'll slap it together, even if I had to put little staples so she could hold it and see her name. So that was my beginning, and look where we are now. So it's amazing. The process is amazing. I've never ever dreamed it would be this interesting, this heart wrenching, and I'm so anxious. I'm as anxious as everyone else to get to see this book, and the process was amazing. I'm so amazed by your work, Dunya. Oh my gosh, she's amazing, and the process is amazing. I never knew.
And our book, Dancing with Belle, will be on Amazon in early February. It will be printed locally. And if I understand right, all proceeds from sales of Dancing with Belle will go to Alzheimer's Association of Canada. Am I correct?
Yeah. Well, I said the first 100 books because I didn't think I'd even sell. In the beginning, I'm like, yeah, I wonder if they're going to sell 100. But yeah, whatever I go above, like, I had to do the way I went through GoFundMe. I also stated whatever goes above will go definitely back to the Alzheimer's, no matter what it helps them with, is as little things like activities or the animated dolls that they have for them. It's just amazing how their eyes just brighten up as soon as they have something like that to cuddle and hold. And so yeah, it will be given back. Yes, you're right.
Well, you can look at the link below, smilingeyespress.ca. Go to our authors. You will see Lorraine's new landing page about herself and her book, and you will see pictures and the cover. You'll also see on our homepage the slider for the book. We will keep everyone up to date. You can visit Smiling Eyes Press Facebook, where we do postings. And Lorraine is an active poster as well. Lorraine also mentioned a GoFundMe page, which you can check on the link below, and we can tie you into that. Lorraine, any final words before we close this session down and get back to working on your book?
Yeah, my final words would be, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all the work, all the hard work that went into the book. I'm grateful to my mother, Isabella, to have given us these stories. And I'm grateful for her, that her story is so remarkable that it's in press, it's being printed in a book. And who would have known with my mom? And I'm grateful for everyone, all my family, of course, my husband. I'm grateful for everyone that's helped me. My friends, they push the GoFundMe, they push everything on Facebook. I mean, I've got a lineup of people that just want to see this book. So for all of that, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful for everyone.
And for the future generations.
That's right.
Your mom's life will be immortalized in Dancing with Belle.
Exactly.
Lorraine.
My little grandson.
Ah,
My little grandson, yeah.
you do, and he is going to read about.
Oh, yes.
Great grandmother?
No, great grandmother, that's right.
Okay,
great.
good. We get confused sometimes with that.
Yes.
Nevertheless, it will be archived and in written forever in print. And of course, we're digital forever digitally, and Amazon's not going anywhere, so it's going to be on Amazon. Right. Well, Lorraine Hennigan, ladies and gentlemen, a new author, Smiling Eyes Press, first-time author. And I encourage you to stay in touch with us and Lorraine, because the book is almost hot off the press. Yeah. Until next time, Lorraine, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
This is Richard, CEO, and signing off for this edition of Your First Time Author.